Are you taking magnesium supplements but still feeling exhausted and cramping up? In this video, I'm going to show you the top 10 foods that are secretly blocking your magnesium absorption. You absolutely have to know this. Hey everyone, and welcome to ReVitaMen. We're going to cover all 10 foods that are sabotaging your magnesium levels, but make sure you stick around until the end because food number 1 is in almost everyone's kitchen right now, and I guarantee it will shock you. All right, let's not waste any time. The biggest culprit most people don't realize, and we're starting with a huge one, is food number 10, alcohol. Let me explain why this is so critical. When you drink alcohol, it acts as a diuretic, which means it makes you urinate more frequently. Every time you go to the bathroom, you're flushing magnesium right out of your system. But here's what most people don't know. Alcohol also damages your gut lining, which is where magnesium absorption happens. So you're getting hit twice. You're losing magnesium through urination, and you're destroying your ability to absorb it in the first place. If you can just reduce your alcohol intake, you'll already be ahead of 90% of people struggling with magnesium deficiency. And if you thought that was eye-opening, you have no idea what's coming. The final food we'll cover is sitting in your pantry right now, and it's even more damaging to your magnesium levels. Okay, moving on to food number 9, which is refined sugar and sugary foods. Now, I know what you're thinking. Sugar affects everything, right? But here's the specific problem with magnesium. When you eat sugar, your body needs to use magnesium to process it and convert it into energy. The more sugar you eat, the more magnesium your body burns through. It's like throwing money into a fire. Plus, high sugar intake causes inflammation in your gut. And remember, your gut is where magnesium absorption happens. Studies have shown that people who consume high amounts of refined sugar have significantly lower magnesium levels in their blood. We're talking about candy, sodas, pastries, and even those healthy granola bars that are loaded with hidden sugars. Your morning donut could be costing you way more than calories. Next up is food number 8, caffeinated beverages, especially coffee and energy drinks. Now, before you coffee lovers start panicking, hear me out. I'm not saying you need to give up your morning cup completely, but you need to understand what's happening. Caffeine is another diuretic, just like alcohol. It increases the rate at which your kidneys filter your blood and produce urine. And guess what goes out with that urine? Magnesium. One study found that consuming 300 milligrams of caffeine, which is about 3 cups of coffee, can increase magnesium excretion by about 50%. That's huge. If you're drinking multiple cups throughout the day, you're essentially creating a magnesium drain in your body. The solution isn't necessarily to quit coffee, but to be mindful of your intake and make sure you're compensating with magnesium-rich foods or supplements at different times of the day.
Another common one is food number 7, processed foods high in sodium. We all know processed foods aren't great for us, but the magnesium connection is rarely discussed. When you eat a lot of sodium, your kidneys have to work overtime to maintain the right balance of minerals in your body. To do this, they increase the excretion of other minerals, including magnesium, through your urine. Fast food, frozen dinners, canned soups, deli meats, chips, and basically anything that comes in a package with a long shelf life is usually loaded with sodium. The recommended daily sodium intake is about 2,300 milligrams, but most people are consuming over 3,500 milligrams per day. That excess sodium is forcing your body to dump magnesium. If you're eating processed foods regularly and wondering why your magnesium supplement isn't working, this could be your answer. Now let's talk about food number 6, foods high in phytic acid. This is where things get interesting because some of these foods are considered healthy. Phytic acid is found in whole grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds. It's sometimes called an anti-nutrient because it binds to minerals like magnesium, zinc, and iron in your digestive tract and prevents you from absorbing them. Your body just can't break down the phytic acid mineral complex, so it passes right through you. Now, I'm not saying you should avoid these foods entirely because they have other nutritional benefits. But if you're eating a lot of raw nuts, unsoaked beans, or whole grain bread and you're magnesium deficient, this could be part of the problem. The good news is you can reduce phytic acid by soaking, sprouting, or fermenting these foods before eating them. Traditional cultures did this instinctively, but we've lost that knowledge in our modern diet. Moving on to food number 5, Foods high in oxalates. Oxalates are compounds found in many plant foods, and they work similarly to phytic acid. They bind to magnesium and other minerals, forming crystals that your body cannot absorb. The highest oxalate foods include spinach, which is ironic because people eat spinach thinking they're getting magnesium, rhubarb, beets, Swiss chard, and even dark chocolate, which I know is going to break some hearts. If you're eating big spinach salads every day, thinking you're loading up on magnesium, you might actually be blocking it instead. Again, these foods aren't evil, but if you're struggling with magnesium deficiency, you might want to rotate them with lower oxalate greens like kale, arugula, or romaine lettuce. Cooking these foods can also reduce their oxalate content significantly. Food number 4 is one that surprises most people: high-dose calcium supplements. Now, calcium and magnesium work together in your body, but they also compete for absorption. When you take a large dose of calcium, especially without magnesium, it can block magnesium absorption in your intestines. They use the same transport channels to get into your bloodstream, and calcium is more aggressive. It's like two people trying to go through the same door at once, and calcium pushes magnesium out of the way. The ideal ratio of calcium to magnesium is about 2:1, but many people are taking calcium supplements with ratios of 5:1 or even higher. This is especially common in women taking calcium for bone health without realizing they're creating a magnesium deficiency. If you're taking calcium supplements, make sure you're also supplementing with magnesium and consider taking them at different times of day to avoid competition.
Let's discuss food number 3, high-protein diets, particularly from animal sources. Now, protein is essential, and I'm not suggesting you become protein deficient. But here's what happens. When you eat a very high-protein diet, your kidneys have to process all the nitrogen waste from protein breakdown. This increases your overall kidney filtration rate, and when your kidneys are working harder, they excrete more of everything, including magnesium. Studies on people following very high-protein diets, especially those doing intense bodybuilding or keto diets, show they often develop subclinical magnesium deficiency. The excess protein also makes your body more acidic, and to buffer that acidity, your body pulls magnesium from your bones and tissues. If you're on a high-protein diet and experiencing muscle cramps, trouble sleeping, or anxiety, low magnesium could be the missing piece. The solution is to make sure you're balancing your protein intake with plenty of magnesium-rich vegetables and considering supplementation. Food number 2 is another incredibly important one: foods and drinks high in phosphoric acid, particularly cola and soft drinks. This is something I see almost everyone doing, and it's sabotaging your magnesium levels. Phosphoric acid is used to give sodas their tangy flavor, and it's also found in many processed foods. When phosphoric acid enters your system, it binds with magnesium to form magnesium phosphate, which your body can't absorb well. It just passes through your digestive system. But wait, it gets worse. Phosphoric acid also pulls magnesium out of your bones. Your body tries to neutralize the acid by releasing alkaline minerals, and magnesium is one of them. So you're not only blocking absorption, you're also depleting your existing stores. Regular soda drinkers often have severely depleted magnesium levels, which contributes to the bone problems, obesity, and metabolic issues we see in heavy soda consumers. Even diet sodas contain phosphoric acid, so switching to artificial sweeteners doesn't solve this problem. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. The number one food that is blocking your magnesium absorption, the one that shocked me the most when I learned about it, is refined flour and white bread products. Yes, that innocent-looking white bread, pasta, crackers, and baked goods. Here's why this is so devastating. When wheat is refined into white flour, 90% of the magnesium is stripped away during processing, so you're starting with basically zero magnesium. But it gets worse. These refined carbohydrates spike your blood sugar rapidly, and just like we talked about with sugar, your body needs to use its magnesium stores to process that glucose. So not only are you getting no magnesium from the food, you're actually depleting your existing magnesium to digest it. It's a double negative. Then there's another layer. Refined flour products often contain additives and preservatives that further interfere with mineral absorption in your gut.
Your intestinal lining becomes inflamed and damaged from the constant assault of refined carbs, reducing its ability to absorb magnesium from other foods you eat. And here's the kicker. Refined flour products are everywhere. They're the foundation of the modern Western diet. Breakfast cereal, sandwiches, pizza, pasta, cookies, cakes, tortillas, bagels. The average person is eating these multiple times every single day. This constant exposure is creating a nationwide magnesium deficiency epidemic. Studies show that over 50% of Americans don't get enough magnesium, and refined flour consumption is one of the biggest contributors.
So there you have it, the 10 biggest foods that are blocking your magnesium absorption. We covered everything from alcohol and caffeine creating a diuretic effect, to phytic acid and oxalates binding up minerals, to calcium supplements competing for absorption, and of course, the most important one, refined flour products that are both devoid of magnesium and actively depleting your stores. The good news is, now that you know what's blocking your absorption, you can make informed choices. You don't have to eliminate all these foods, but being strategic about when and how you consume them can make a massive difference in your magnesium levels. Now, I have a question for you. Which of these foods are you eating regularly? Be honest and let me know in the comments below. I read every single one, and I'm curious to see which one surprises people the most. If you got value from this video, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next one.